morning, indeed, Naledi. Though I am struggling a little bit to hear you because of, I think there's network challenges in this area. But you're quite correct. I did catch the first part of the question there, that we are here at Medupi in Lephalale. We've just arrived here. We're waiting for the Minister of Electricity to also, I suppose, make his entrance to this particular power station. And also, quite correctly, he has been visiting various power stations across the country. I know he's been in Mpumalanga as well. He's also been to Kusile. He was also in Gauteng as well. And quite interesting, we are here, between Kusile as well as Medupi. We know that, the construction work there began a few years ago. We obviously know about the ballooning of, in about 2007, where work began on Medupi and Kusile. And we did see the ballooning of the cost of these power stations. And we also understand that as we're still here in Medupi, that Unit 4 still not functional. And obviously, these are the questions we're going to have to ask the Minister of Electricity after he's done his walkabout and he's gotten that briefing from management here. We understand that that particular unit, we're told, will come back on the grid. It's off the grid currently. Also, it is one of the issues after that explosion that took place here. I think it was in 2021. That unit's still not operational at the moment. They're still doing, I think they call it preservation work on that particular unit. But we've also seen, the escalation of the costs. We need to also find out, I suppose, from the minister. Let me just step out of shot so you can just see where we are. We need to find out from the minister as to how much is it going to cost and how much have they spent already in terms of restoring that Unit 4 and bringing it back on the grid. How will this ease the issue of load shedding? I mean, South Africans having lived with load shedding for the past 15 plus years, they've been sitting on the issue of load shedding. So these are just, suppose, some of the issues that we're hoping he is going to answer. We know Medupi, I think the fourth largest coal-powered power plant in the world, we're told. So when he comes here, I suppose these are just some of the issues that he's going to, we hope he will be able to address after his walkabout. And it's not only here that he's going to be visiting Medupi only, he's also going to go to Matimba, which is also not far from here, where he will also be doing that visit as he has done across the country. In terms of the visit, what are my views as a journalist? I mean, as any ordinary South African, we are all hopeful and we're all hoping that he will be able to, after he's done these visitations to the various power stations, so it's just not a meet and greet, but also we're hoping that he'll come up with some sort of plan as to how are we going to deal with the issue of load shedding, how are we going to get rid of load shedding, or how are we going to come out of the issue of load shedding as South Africans. I mean, we've done extensive stories on how load shedding has affected your small to medium enterprises. A lot of people having to close down ship because of the unstable supply of electricity. So will he be, after these visitations are done, give us a solid plan, outside of the plans that we've been hearing, Naledi, for years and years, of how this issue of load shedding is going to be fixed. So we're hoping that these visits are going to actually bear fruit, where he will be able to come up with not just a plan, because it's good to have a plan, but also the timelines and the deadlines for this plan, that in X amount of time, this is what we can expect to see in terms of electricity. And I suppose also the issue of the cost of electricity, quite important, I suppose, for a lot of South Africans when you look at, the state of the economy and how things are. So just some of the issues, I suppose, that we'll be bringing forth in asking the minister as he visits these two power stations in the Limpopo province, Naledi.
Yeah, well, considering the network issues, I'm hoping that you'll be able to hear my next question, Mahlako. But I'm quite interested in the sort of allegations that we've heard around sabotage at our power stations. What we know about incidents at Matimba and Medupi. Is it a big problem? Is there security on site to protect the power station? Last week, we saw security forces at Tutuka and other power stations where the minister was visiting. Are you seeing the same?
Yes, Lady, I'm actually just looking around now. I know when we came in here, we did see an army tanker. I think it's called an army tanker, but we did see an army vehicle, and there are some soldiers. I'm actually literally just looking on my left-hand side. I did see, a soldier. We understand that this is one of the 10 power stations that were said to be the security. There was a security breach or a compromise in security. So we have been seeing that. Apparently, it's not only, I was speaking to some of the workers there, it's not only at Medupi, where this is happening, where you are seeing, the army coming in, I suppose, to try and protect these assets. Quite correctly on the issue of sabotage, interesting question to ask, what is it that has been done? I mean, you would have heard from that, the interview that came out from the former CEO of Eskom, Mr. Andre Dareta, speaking about, that they not only that, but also in supply chain, there were issues there. So it will be very interesting as the Minister of Electricity takes up this portfolio, and as he's done, will he be able to address some of the issues where power stations are being turned into cash cows for the corrupt elite, or those that are corrupt in the country, as they make money out of these power stations, subjecting South Africans, I suppose, to further load shedding, and as the stages, the degrees of the stages as they go up. So those are the questions that we are going to be posing to Dr. Ramokgopa, and just asking him what are his plans. Has he actually discovered anything? Is there any truth to those claims or those allegations that were made by the former CEO? But most importantly, what is the plan for load shedding? Are they going to be able to solve the issue of load shedding for a lot of these South Africans? Naledi? Yeah.